The tourist, wearing a smug grin, raised a bottle over the helmet of a royal guard, confident that he could do whatever he pleased. He thought it was all just a show, that the soldier was nothing more than a prop for entertainment. But his fun lasted only until the very moment the guard took his first step forward. The crowd gasped, cameras shook, and within hours the moment had gone viral on social media. What happened next, no one saw coming. The sky is blanketed with thick gray clouds. A light drizzle settles on the pavement, making it treacherously slick. The air smells of damp stone, asphalt, and the morning coffee that tourists lazily sip from paper cups. A dense circle has formed around the Royal Guard. Some hold their phones at the ready, others chatter loudly, discussing their itinerary. But everyone has the same goal: to photograph the guards. They stand motionless, like statues, unfazed by flashing cameras or brazen antics. Some tourists get too close. A laughing child waves a hand in front of a guard's face, while a man in an expensive coat hesitates, reaching toward the soldier's bearskin hat, only to withdraw his hand at his wife's disapproving glance. Someone giggles and wonders aloud if their rifles are real. They don't understand, or they pretend not to. At the center of this restless crowd stands Lieutenant Edward Hastings, a representative of the Royal Guard. He is tall, broad-shouldered, and absolutely unwavering. His uniform is immaculate, buttons polished to a mirror shine, a crimson tunic pressed to perfection, spotless white gloves. On his head, a massive bearskin helmet, its black fur slightly damp from the drizzle but still commanding respect. But most striking of all, his eyes, cold, steely, locked onto a single point ahead. He doesn't see the crowd, doesn't notice the jeers, the shouts, the desperate attempts to snap a close-up photo. He doesn't react, because that is his duty, his honor, his purpose. 100 years ago, his predecessors stood just as he does now, facing the British Empire. They stared straight ahead as the Queen herself passed by. Today, before him stands a group of tourists with cameras, and one of them has clearly decided to test his patience. Mike Banner, a textbook American tourist who believes the world exists purely for his amusement. He wears a bright red jacket with massive letters spelling I London, a baseball cap emblazoned with the logo of some football team, and worn-out jeans. An expensive camera hangs around his neck, but he's filming everything on his phone anyway. In one hand, a bottle of cheap red wine, in the other, a plastic bag of chips. He looks less like he's visiting a cultural capital of Europe and more like he's crashing a low-budget frat party. "Hey, what if I pop it open on his helmet?" He smirks, nudging his friend with an elbow. The crowd stirs. Cameras rise. Some laugh. Others eagerly await the spectacle. Mike basks in the attention. He doesn't care that the man before him is a soldier. Doesn't care that this person may have risked his life before earning his place in the Royal Guard. To him, the Guard is nothing more than a prop and a tourist attraction. Mike takes a step forward. A thin white line on the pavement, the boundary between what is allowed and what is not. But Mike doesn't see it, or pretends not to. Deliberately, he steps over it, glancing around, daring someone to stop him. The guard remains still. The crowd holds its breath. The cameras roll. Mike takes another step. Now he is almost face to face with Edward. "Think he'll say anything?" His voice drips with arrogance. And in that moment, the guard looks directly at him. A subtle shift in gaze, barely perceptible, but sharp as a blade. And in that instant, something changes. Mike smirks, pulls a bottle opener from his pocket, and twirls it in his fingers like a performer preparing for a grand act. But something isn't right. He shakes his head, pretending to deliberate, though in reality, he's just playing to the crowd. "No, that's boring. In London, everything should be done royally." The crowd reacts instantly. Some laugh, others whisper to their neighbors. What's he up to? Phones are gripped tighter, cameras lock onto him. This is the moment. He feels like the main attraction, soaking in the anticipation in their eyes, their silent craving for something reckless, something forbidden. He grips the bottle with both hands, firmly, slowly, lifts it above his head as if about to do something spectacular. The bottle's neck points downward, aimed at the guard's helmet. The crowd holds its breath. No one stops him. Everyone watches. And then, movement. The guard steps forward. Sudden, firm, like a hammer striking stone. The crowd flinches. Those recording instinctively lower their phones. A few people exchange stunned glances. No one expected this. Everyone thought the guards would stand still no matter what. But this one moved. Mike staggers back, but quickly regains composure, trying to act as if he's still in control. The guard extends his arm, pointing at the ground before him. "Step away from the Royal Guard, now!" His voice is firm, steady, leaving no room for argument. The crowd is silent. No threats, no shouting. Yet the sheer force in those words makes even the most carefree tourists understand. The game is over. Mike tries to laugh it off, but the sound is strained. He looks around. People aren't laughing. No one's backing him up. Many are watching with clear disapproval. "He crossed the line," someone murmurs. "This won't end well," another agrees. Some tourists instinctively step back, sensing the moment has shifted from playful to serious. But Mike can't just walk away, not after commanding all this attention, not with the cameras still rolling. He needs to save face. He takes a sharp step back, as if retreating, and then he throws the bottle, right at the guard's feet. Glass shatters against the pavement. Red wine spills, spreading like blood. For a few seconds, there is only silence. This is the last straw. Shattered glass settles on the pavement in tiny fragments, reflecting the pale light of the overcast London morning. Red wine seeps into the cracks between the gray stones, creating a sinister image, as if blood had been spilled at the guard's feet. The crowd holds its breath. No one laughs. No one speaks. In this moment, it becomes painfully clear. The joke has gone too far. Edward takes another step forward. This time, his movement is slow, deliberate, calculated, every detail precise, every second measured. He isn't rushing. He doesn't need to. This moment belongs to him. His hand moves smoothly to his belt, and then a sword emerges, not aggressively, no unnecessary motions, just a symbol, a reminder. This is not a prop, not a piece of a theatrical costume. This weapon is real. Mike stares at him, and for the first time, something flickers across his face. Realization. Up until now, it had all been a game, a performance where he was the star and the guard was nothing more than a silent backdrop. But not anymore. Now the guard is real, and he, Mike Banner, is no longer the hero. He's the fool, the center of attention, but for all the wrong reasons. "Clean up the mess and leave the premises." The guard's voice is cold as winter air, sharp as a gunshot, completely devoid of emotion. Mike swallows hard. He tries to play it off, glancing at the crowd, searching for support. But there is none. No laughter. No one recording for entertainment anymore. They're all watching him with disapproval. Shame. Slowly, he bends down and starts gathering the glass. His hands tremble. He works fast, clumsy, desperate to escape the crushing weight of all those eyes on him. Shards slice his fingers, but he doesn't stop. He doesn't dare look up. Dozens of cameras remain pointed at him, but he's no longer the performer. He's the spectacle. "Violation of royal protocol. Security. Take him." The officer's voice rings out from the gates. Mike freezes. His hands are still in the glass, but he doesn't move. From behind the massive iron gates, 2 police officers step forward. They don't rush. They don't need to. They know their target isn't going anywhere. They walk past the silent guard without exchanging a single word. Even they know he has already said everything that needed to be said. Mike slowly rises to his feet. His face is pale. He doesn't crack a joke. He doesn't try to explain himself. The crowd erupts into applause. They aren't clapping because Mike got what he deserved. They're clapping for the guard, for his patience, for his unshakable composure. "That's right! Respect the tradition!" someone shouts. Some clap too loudly. Some give a thumbs up. For once, the crowd isn't craving chaos. They're showing respect. Mike is led away. He doesn't resist. He doesn't play to the cameras. He simply leaves, taking the circus with him. And Edward? He takes one step back, resumes his stance as if nothing ever happened. The video hits the internet within hours. Some upload it to YouTube, others to TikTok. It spreads like wildfire. The headlines are brutal, unforgiving. Disgraced tourist learns his lesson from a royal guard. How not to act in London. Royal revenge. Why you shouldn't mess with the guards. Thousands of views. Then tens of thousands. The video trends worldwide. The comment sections explode with emotion. These soldiers deserve respect, not cheap, drunken antics. Because of idiots like this, the Royal Guard has to endure constant humiliation. He just took one step forward, and that was enough. That's true discipline. Shame on tourists like him. People have no respect for culture anymore. What a pathetic guy. Thought he was funny, but became a joke himself. This is the internet. It never forgives humiliation. Mike stares at the screen, horrified. He never thought it would blow up like this. He never expected to become a meme. He never realized that his name would now be synonymous with public shame. The next day, he appears in some low-tier vlog, his face tired, his voice tense, his eyes filled with frustration and fear. It was just a joke. People are overreacting. This isn't fair. He tries to explain himself. It doesn't work. The comments are even harsher than before. A joke? Smashing a bottle in front of a guard's face is a joke? Just accept it. You made yourself look like a fool. Next time, think before turning a historical site into a circus. The verdict is final. Mike Banner is now the face of tourist disgrace. And Edward? He simply returns to his post, adjusts his gloves, resumes his stance. Once again, motionless, as if nothing ever happened. Because in the end, the Royal Guard remains unshaken.